Thank you for the introduction, Lauren. Today, I'm excited to welcome this panel to talk a bit more about how sellers, partners, developers are using tools and technology to help customers work more successfully with sellers in our new omni-channel world, accelerated by COVID. And let me first start by introducing our panel. Panelists, I'll call it your name, but would love for you to introduce yourselves. So, first of all, we have Adam Robinson, who is Chief Product Officer at Pepper.
Yeah, hi. As you say, I head up product at Pepper. Pepper produce ordering, loyalty, uh, and payments, mobile apps and web apps for food and beverage merchants. So restaurants, coffee shops, bars.
Excellent. Thank you for that introduction, and lots of things to talk about with you. I'd also love to introduce Mark Stutzman, who is CTO at Area 15.
Area 15 is a purpose-built, immersive, experiential venue in Las Vegas. We are right off the Las Vegas Strip. We actually opened during the pandemic.
Great timing.
Great timing. Yeah, it actually was great timing. For a new business, it allowed us to really get our feet underneath us operationally. It's been a great experience, and it's been gangbusters actually since we've opened. So we're big Square users. We can talk a little bit about that, but fully integrated throughout our tech stack.
We'd also love to introduce Britni McCotter, Head of Payments Business Operations at Automattic, working on WooCommerce.
Yes, so I'm Britni McCotter and I head up payment operations over at WooCommerce. I'm focused on just optimizing the payment experience from beginning to end for our merchants. And WooCommerce is the e-commerce platform for WordPress.
Fantastic. Great panel. And excited to dive in with you all. So I will start with Adam. Adam, you talked a little bit about Pepper. One of the bigger challenges that retailers, food establishments, bars, and so on face is converting their offline kind of in-person loyalty program into something that is more online friendly, works in an omni-channel world. We're all familiar with paper punch cards at the sandwich shop, but how have you seen your customers navigate this to make their loyalty programs more friendly to online or omni-channel?
Yeah. I think it's fair to say we're seeing much more sophistication in the requirements from merchants than we were seeing 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. The pandemic, as I'm sure everybody has experienced, has accelerated tech adoption. We all know that. But what it's done is merchants have had a much greater desire to digitize their loyalty schemes, but also have had the time to really sit down and think about it. The important thing we've always found is that it's important to provide a seamless experience. So you can't take away the paper stamp cards in order to provide digital loyalty. It won't fly. There are some customers who digital loyalty will not be the right option for, and it's marketing 101, right? Is it's all about a multi-channel approach. Not every part of your solution is right for every customer.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to offer loyalty in store, and you've got to be able to offer it digitally, but it's got to be across all of those channels. The Square Loyalty API, I mean, we implemented the Square Loyalty API when it was alpha, so we've been integrated that for some time, and we were so keen to do that because it allows customers to cross channels and to earn their loyalty regardless of the channel they're purchasing through, but more importantly, to redeem their rewards regardless of which channel they're purchasing through.
Mark, let me turn it over to you for a second. You mentioned that you opened Area 15 last year, and it's been gangbusters since. Super unique time to open, obviously, as we discussed. Would love to understand from you how you've thought about customer engagement in that time frame, and how you've thought about customer data as providing you the ability to build and create additional engagement with your customers.
Yeah, I mean, look, for us, data is center to our business, and we were lucky enough in that we were able to build Area 15 from the ground up. So we've actually designed something that we call the experiential platform, which is an entire kind of marketing, technology, finance, data aggregation stack that integrates kind of best of breed technology like Square. For us, from day one, Square was kind of really integral to what we were designing. We used loyalty from Square primarily because we kind of liked the simplicity and flexibility of it as a foundational piece that we could easily integrate via API with our mobile app and our website. We even do things like when guests are playing experiences in the venue, we have a kind of a free roaming AR kind of game type experience where you learn the backstory of Area 15, and they're actually gaining particles while playing that game based on what they achieve, and those particles are Square loyalty points that are updated in real time.
That's amazing. And your loyalty program is called Particles. Is that the points are called
Our,
Particles?
our loyalty program is particles, and we have multiple levels that a customer can achieve. But yeah, we do some interesting stuff with Square from a technology perspective too, right? I mean, we allow our customers to actually use Square gift cards to redeem tickets that are being sold from a completely different platform, right? A third-party ticketing platform. And we've kind of abstracted that away, so the user experience is exactly the same.
Small piece of backstory: when we released loyalty in the early days, one of the biggest requests was the ability to customize program names. And so it's amazing to see what people name their programs: particles, turtles, beans, you name it. So that's really cool. And on a related note, maybe I'll turn it over to Britni for a second. So obviously the pandemic has accelerated the shift to online, and WooCommerce obviously has been doing this for your customers for many, many years. How have you thought about that bridge between online and offline in the context of customer data for your customers?
Sure. It's a great question. WooCommerce is really focused on bridging the on and offline experience. And we know that we cater to a variety of merchants that may have traditional brick and mortar businesses. And we really think about WooCommerce as how we can use Woo for inventory management, order management, syncing of your data, like through Square, to really give businesses a holistic picture of the health of their business. We've had with COVID some incredible creativity with our WooCommerce merchants, really thinking outside of the box. One of them particularly is actually a farm, and they have used WooCommerce, implemented Square point of sale on the farm. We have the ability to integrate with our bookings and events plugins, and they are scheduling out for when customers can come to the farm, pick up their produce. They also sell Christmas trees and pumpkins. And so for, the various seasons, they're able to really still engage with that customer touch point that's been primarily, in person many years, and really engaging them to schedule it out and create a safe space for their customers, which has been incredible.
Let me now kind of talk a little bit about scaling and change in complexity. So, Adam, how do you think about the kind of change in loyalty? And this is true for other experiences like gift cards, marketing, what have you, from very, very simple to significantly complex, and the journey a small business kind of takes as they increase complexity. How have you thought about growing a loyalty program in complexity uh, for your businesses through Pepper and through your integrations with Square?
And there's two things that have already been mentioned today that play into it for us. One is that Mark mentioned about being a data focused business, which is we have to be able to capture the data for merchants that gives them the insights that they want and that they need and that they don't know that they need to be able to understand what's working for them. And then secondly to that, you mentioned, Saumil, about people naming their loyalty programs. I think you said turtles and beans as examples, and obviously particles. We have to have the flexibility. You have to have the flexibility then to respond to what that data is telling you, and there will be surprises. The thing that we've discovered and I know from my own background in food and beverage and restaurants, is that no restaurants are the same. They want to be different. It's an experiential thing. You go to a restaurant because of things that you like about that brand, about their food. Sometimes it's ephemeral. Sometimes it's a particular server who you're friendly with. There's so much different about a particular restaurant that will get customers to go to it, that has to be reflected in what you're doing with your marketing to those customers as well. So you have to have that flexibility in your loyalty programs to give them the room to experiment.
And Mark, I'll ask you a related question about scaling as well, but maybe with a different flavor. So, it's a common complaint. We've heard it from our customers. I'm sure you've all experienced this in your career, which is you've got this kind of siloing of data across systems, and you've got this lack of interoperability. And so you may have businesses that are sitting on a treasure trove of data, but it's just locked up in different places, and essentially not usable effectively. And so, how have you thought about interoperability, and how have you thought about building out flexible, scalable systems that work for your use case at Area 15?
So I think people are going to be a little jealous when they hear me say this, but we have no siloed data at Area 15. We
Must
literally
be
have
nice.
none. And it is quite exciting because I've dealt with it at previous companies, and it's challenging, right? Especially with legacy systems. But again, because this thing was designed from day one to aggregate this data into a single system, I can give you an example. Like within our Square account, we probably have 30 different locations or businesses running within the single account across the venue. And in our data warehouse, we're pulling in all of that data daily, plus we're pulling in data from probably 30, 40 other systems that run within the venue, including things as crazy as computer vision data from our security cameras and all of our marketing data from all of our different outreach points. We're pulling in external data sources to help us enhance our customer record, right? So Area 15 is made up of artists and technology folks, so we are just endless tinkerers. We're never done with anything. And we have a CEO and founder who is just eager to push this thing to like places it's never been. And so we treat our physical venue as if it's a digital business.
That's incredible. And so this kind of points us away toward the future, and what it could look like for any business that's committed to this type of vision and started in 2020. Uh, and so, and what makes this interesting is what happens to the rest of the folks who are going to have to play catch up over the next several years. And let me maybe hear, and I'll open it up to everybody, if there are thoughts around personalization. So, as these businesses scale, it can be a challenge to maintain the same level of personalization in the customer relationships, especially if your frame of reference is this notion of in-store personal relationships with the buyer. And now you think about translating that into this new omni-channel world where it's online plus offline. Some people are online only. And there's a potential, at least, for complete loss of personalization and that personal touch and personal experience that people value. So how have you all thought about this in the context of your own business, but also serving the businesses that you serve on a day-to-day basis and their customers?
I think for personalization specifically, we're seeing merchants get creative. We've touched a little bit on coffee shops. We've touched on kind of traditional food and beverages retailers that we've seen move online, especially over the last year, create scalable personalization touch points. There's one that's coming to mind for me, that's also a Square merchant that enables you to, when you place your order, it's a takeout restaurant at this point. You have the option for accumulation of points and loyalty, and then are able to get, it's like free dessert or all those little things. I think we've also become pretty numb to the expectations of kind of the surprise and delight. We don't really see that anymore often anywhere, offline, online. And so when you can engage in that, and when you can get the free sticker or the swag or the, like the special beer can or whatever that is, it brings a little bit of element of joy. And given the craziness and difficulty of last year, that's love, right? Like that's customer love, that's business love. It's reciprocated, and that's the huge part of personalization in this world we're living in.
Yeah.
I would have to say, like, I love the surprise and delight comment, because that's kind of our mantra. If I have someone walking in with their Area 15 app open, we can provide them kind of offers in real time based on where they are in the venue, right? Like that's cool stuff. And that, and I think we like to think about technology as like the visible technology, and for us the visible technology are like all these crazy fun experiences, and then the hidden technology, and the hidden technology is the stuff that powers all this kind of surprise and delight beyond the visuals of Area 15, but just the fun stuff that we can do to engage with our customers and make their visit so much better while they're there.
But the beauty of
That's cool.
surprise and delight is word of mouth, right? So it's enabling
Yeah.
that little customer love, that it goes so long and so far reaching to friends, family, everybody, that's what continues to grow the business and experience, for sure.
Yeah. We talk a lot to merchants about hyper personalized loyalty and surprise and delight, and turning your most loyal users into evangelists, to the point of even just forget about segmentation. Just pick your 5 most frequent users this month and go and give them something, completely hyper personalized.
Let me switch gears with you all, and now hear your perspectives on how you think about platforms when you select platforms to work with for your own business, for your customers' businesses. So maybe we could do kind of a top 3, top 5, take your pick. What are the most important characteristics that you all look for or have looked for when picking a technology platform to partner with?
I'll start. I mean, from a technology perspective, I have kind of 3 rules. The first is that it has to be cloud first. The second is that it has to have full access via APIs, and the third is direct access to the data. And those are kind of the 3 checks. And if you don't get past that, we don't even talk. More important for me is that there's a lot of great technology out there, but there's not a lot of great companies. And so for me, it's critical that the partners that we're working with are responsive, that they're forward thinking, that they expose their roadmap, that they collaborate with their customers to actually improve the product.
Yeah, that's great. Adam, Brittany, we'd love to hear from you. I mean, characteristics of technology platforms as you think about picking one.
We're always looking for people who are simple to integrate with. You want nice, clear APIs that are easy to consume and well supported, and that has really good ongoing maintenance for onboarding and ongoing support. So and we have that. It's rare. In fact, it's unprecedented for us that we have a company of Square's size that we're dealing with, where we get such almost white glove treatment as we're integrating, and to be able to have a Slack channel where we're talking to a developer that actually understands how this stuff works, and is really plugged into it all. Obviously, there's depth of functionality there as well. We're from as a product guy, what I'm always looking for is where's this adding value to our stack, and where is how do we get 2 + 2 making 5 with both of our platforms.
Brittany, anything on your end in terms of characteristics of technology platforms that you all care about?
Yeah, the WordPress and WooCommerce ecosystem is very large. And so would we look to partner with a solution or technology, we look to offer the best in class solution for what we feel our community members will be able to use, elegantly, frequently, seamlessly, all of those kind of nuances. Adam touched touched on this too. In building a relationship with these partners, one of the factors is for us is not only the ease of the integration and build and continuous upgrade and ongoing feature sets, but also just the collaborative nature of the partnership.
Maybe my last question of the day. So what next? We're a third of the way through 2021, give or take. How are you thinking about what to build next? What are you excited about building next on Square's platform? Again, I'll open it up to whoever wants to start.
So I'll start. So we've got two big things that are on our plans for this year. Actually, is to extend our loyalty integration with additional marketing capabilities. So we've got things that we can do that aren't plugged into what Square can do at the moment. So really excited to get all of that plugged in. And lastly, gifting. We actually acquired a US gifting and loyalty firm in the middle of last year, and are in the process of incorporating gifting as a capability into our platform. We've never had gift cards before, so it's a really exciting thing for us to deliver, to be able to sell e-gift cards for restaurants and then have them redeemable through our apps, and to plug that in as well to the Square gifting program, so that just like we've done with loyalty, we can make that properly omni-channel and really easy to use for customers and for merchants. I think is going to make it really powerful.
And hopefully you'll be able to compare notes with Mark, because Mark's obviously done some work with gifting already, it sounds like. So, Mark,
certainly shall, yeah.
Yeah. I'll turn it over to you, Mark. What are you excited to build next?
Oh, well, I'm excited to build about 100 things. It's a question of which ones do we do in what order. But I can actually agree with Adam. We're actually finishing up our gift card integration right now, and we're when I say finishing up our gift card integration, I mean across the external systems. We're also we use a bunch of Square products, right? We're using Square for retail, in our retail locations. We're using Square for restaurants. We're using Square POS. During the pandemic, we've rolled out contactless online ordering through Square Restaurants. That's just been awesome. And we do some interesting stuff with that. We use it so our tenants' guests can actually order through our food hall, which is a partnership called The Beast with Todd English. So if you're sitting at Five Iron, you can order your dinner via your phone. That's going to be brought straight to your table by the folks at The Beast, and it all flows through our single Square account. And so there's a lot more of that sort of kind of tight integration with our tenants and our platforms. And we're also, we're working on helping our tenants understand our customers better, collecting data from them and aggregating it and kind of generating cross-venue reports to all of our tenants to help them grow as well.
Yeah, gifting and deeper integrations. How about you, Britni?
I think gifting is definitely the theme here. So for our integration with Square, we're consistently doing enhancements to the plugin, specifically around order syncing. We want to buff up our inventory management, and then allow merchants to enable gift card support there, as well as other things in the pipeline. So I must admit that the Square team is really excellent at providing all of the latest documentation and details for our team to review and get that in the roadmap and plan it out. So
okay, I think that gets us to the end of the road. Appreciate everybody's time, and thank you all so much for participating and sharing your insights and observations, and hope to continue making you and your customers and your partners happy with Square's platform and APIs, and just as importantly, collaboration and communication. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Saumil. Pleasure.
Thank you.